Yes, in fact, Remained a Man the last to go in, and that seems to be it. He's gone in sweetly. They're under starters' orders, and they're off, and Tarzan is the first to go on. And so Tarzan, the early pacemaker, being followed by Julia Mariner. Then comes Shirley Heights in front of Sexton Blake. Remained a Man up on the far side in fifth, and bringing up the rear in the early stage is Lester Piggott on Persian Bold. And so Tarzan and Steve Cottle setting the pace from Shirley Heights, with just in front of him Julia Mariner. In fourth place is Sexton Blake, followed by Remainder Man. Then comes Lenigan with Leonardo da Vinci, Taxiarchus, and finally Persian Bold. They come now to the mile from home marker. Tarzan still in the lead from Shirley Heights next to the rails. Julia Mariner on the far side. Sexton Blake's in front of Remainder Man. Then comes Leonardo da Vinci, followed by Lenigan, Taxiarchus, and then finally Persian Bold. So they continue around that bottom turn, and Tarzan still the pacemaker to his stable companion Julia Mariner, who raced on the far side of Shirley Heights. They're second and third. A gap of about a couple of lengths then to going up on the outside is Lenigan in front of Sexton Blake. They in turn are then followed by Remainder Man, Taxiarchus, Leonardo da Vinci, and still bringing up the rear is Persian Bold. And so at about 5 furlongs still to run is still Tarzan in the lead, being followed by Julia Mariner, Shirley Heights, Lenigan on the outside, Sexton Blake on the inner. Just in behind and towards the outside comes Taxiarchus, then comes Remainder Man, Leonardo da Vinci, and finally Persian Bold. But they have half a mile still to run, and it's Tarzan still the leader from Juliet Mariner, Shirley Heights, and towards the outside the Irish challenger Lenigan, who's now under pressure and also beginning to make up ground patently on Leonardo da Vinci. They pass the 3 furlong from home marker now, and it's the stable companions Julia Mariner nearest the rails, Tarzan and Shirley Heights. That's the leading 3. Sexton Blake just in behind them. Leonardo da Vinci now being unleashed towards the outer to make his run, but they have inside the final quarter mile, and it's Shirley Heights and Julia Mariner. These two are battling it out. Sexton Blake, Leonardo da Vinci, and Remainder Man. They're running now towards the final furlong, and it's Shirley Heights on the near side, Julia Mariner on the far side. It's between these two. Leonardo da Vinci is not going to get there because Shirley Heights is running on strongly. They've got about 50 yards still to go, and it's Shirley Heights absolutely coasting through to an impressive victory over Julia Mariner. Then comes Sexton Blake, Remainder Man, Leonardo da Vinci, followed by Taxiarchus, Persian Bold, Lenigan, and then finally the last one over the line, the early pacemaker Tarzan.
In the 1978 Derby, Sangster's colours were carried by Hawaiian Sound, trained at Lambourne by Barry Hills. To partner Hawaiian Sound, Sangster flew over the legendary American jockey Willie Shoemaker, who'd never set foot on the Epsom course before. Hawaiian Sound had been second in the Chester Vase to Icelandic. With Sangster's Try My Best, a 3-year-old flop, Lester Piggott was riding Inkerman, a last-minute substitute for Vincent O'Brien. But the real favourites for the 1978 race were Greville Starkey's mount Shirley Heights, an 8-to-1 shot who'd won the Dante Stakes at York from subsequent St Leger winner Julio Mariner, and the other Barry Hills trained colt, Sexton Blake, who'd been third in the same race. Shirley Heights, who was trained at Arundel by John Dunlop, had also beaten Ile de Bourbon at Newmarket. Inkerman was to prove a poor standard-bearer for the Ballydoyle stable, but the terrific climax to the race did serve to demonstrate that not only Piggott could ride a thrilling Derby finish.
Just in behind him. We have a quarter mile still to go, and it's Willie Shoemaker on Hawaiian Sound in the lead from Remainder Man. Picking out ground on the outside is Pajama Hunt. Then comes Shirley Heights and Julia Mariner. I don't think going to find any more. They're coming now towards the final furlong. It's Hawaiian Sound still holding Remainder Man, and Shirley Heights going with a tremendous run on the far side. They've got about 100 yards still to go. It's Hawaiian Sound on the near side, Shirley Heights on the near side, and it's Shirley Heights who gets up at the last try to win it from Hawaiian Sound. Remainder Man.
Not for the first time, Willie Shoemaker had shown his extraordinary ability to adapt to any riding conditions in the world, and to improve a horse's performance at least 7 pounds on his previous race. Shirley Heights' tenacious victory was also an outstanding success for his sire, the 1971 Derby hero Mill Reef, who also sired the French Derby winner in the same season.
And Shirley Heights go with a tremendous run on the far side. They've got about 100 yards still to go. It's Hawaiian Sound on the near side, Shirley Heights on the near side, and it's Shirley Heights who gets up at the last try to win it.
John, I'll take back to your first Derby winner, if I can, 12 years after you moved to Castle Stables, and that was Shirley Heights. What's it like to win your first Epsom Derby?
Well, I think everybody in the British Isles thinks the Epsom Derby is the most important race in the calendar, and I certainly felt so. And as a relatively young man, one was so thrilled to win a Derby. It was too much.
When you have a horse like Shirley Heights in the yard, do you immediately think, I've got a Derby horse? And how much do you try and set him on that path? I suppose, at what stage did you think with Shirley Heights, we've got a Derby horse?
Well, in the early days, of course, you were going purely on pedigree and appearance, and I think he was Millreef's first crop, actually. But he wasn't particularly impressive. He was a rough horse as a yearling. They couldn't put him out with other yearlings. He had to be paddocked with some cattle because he was knocked them all about. But he did win the Royal Lodge as a 2-year-old. And having done that, that gave one hopes and thoughts about derbies and classic races.
I suppose on paper as well, he was by Millreef, but his Damn Hardy Emma wasn't necessarily a world beater.
It wasn't a fantastic pedigree compared with many others, many contemporaries, obviously.
What did Lord Halifax say to you about this horse? Was this one that he sort of said, I think we can win a Derby with this horse, or did he very much leave it to you?
No, I don't think he did, no. I'm sure he didn't, in fact.
When he won the Royal Lodge, first time Greville Starkey had sat on him, was that the blossoming of a partnership between he and Greville?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. It was one of those days racing. I had a runner in the Group 1 race in Ireland with a horse called North Stoke. And it was then, indeed, it was called the Joe McGrath Memorial Stakes, but it was a Group 1. And Ron Hutchinson was a stable jockey, and he chose to go there to ride him, which he did, and left Shirley Heights and Trusted, who won the QE2 the same day, ridden by Willie. That's how it started.
What were Ron's thoughts on this matter?
I don't know, he never expressed them really. He's still alive, you know. What age he is, God knows. He's hale and hearty, apparently. I get reports about him sort of after the Melbourne Cup and things from various people, which is great.
And Shirley Heights and Greville went on to great success in his 3-year-old season. How did Shirley Heights develop from 2 to 3? Did he change a lot? He wasn't the biggest of horses.
No, he wasn't. He's very strong, very powerful. He was really a bit too heavy top, to be truthful, for his own good. Hence he did suffer from leg trouble following the Irish Derby.
When he won the Dante, was that the time that you thought you really had a Derby horse on your hand, or were you disappointed with the first couple of starts that season? Did you think he, for example, at Sandown, did you think he'd go out and win at Sandown and following Newmarket?
Well, he was quite a gross, heavy horse, as I was saying, and I think he definitely needed the race at Sandown. But we ran him again after Sandown, didn't we?
Newmarket, I think.
Yeah, at Newmarket, which he won.
But when you win a Dante, that's the moment you say,
yeah,
this is,
well,
we've got a Derby horse.
I think we all think the Dante is usually the best Derby trial there is, you know.
Why is that, do you think? Is that the race you'd always use for your Derby horse?
Well, it's a lovely course to run a 3-year-old, you know, rather than Chester, say, or Lingfield, or indeed Epsom, but a lovely, flat, easy turned racetrack, you know. So it's always been accepted as being a very good Derby trial, which it's proved.
And the race itself, the 78 Derby, were there any moments where you thought we might be in trouble here? He came from a little bit further back. He went up the inside as well at Epsom.
Erhard certainly did, from the bottom of the hill. Erhard passed 22 horses or something from the bottom of the hill. Shirley Heights wasn't as far back as that, but he did. He got up. It was a very, very close finish, but we won by, what, a good head or a neck?
They're coming now towards the final furlong. It's Hawaiian Town still holding remainder man. And Shirley Heights going with a tremendous run on the far side. They've got about 100 yards still to go. It's Hawaiian Town on the near side. Shirley Heights on the near side. And it's Shirley Heights who gets up.
And what happens after that? The horse comes back in, the day finishes, you come home and you've won your first Derby. Is it celebration? Is it disbelief?
It's a bit of disbelief, I think, more than anything else, you know. Celebration, yes, but people always think, you know, you win a big race, everybody's partying, it's a great old thing. Well, it's not actually like that at all, you know. Well, not in most people I know's cases.
You've probably got runners the next day, you're sending out and working out.
Exactly, probably had something in the Oaks the next day.
Winner of both the English and Irish Derby, Shirley Heights is now enjoying phenomenal success at stud. In 1985, Shirley Heights accomplished the ultimate achievement when his son Slip Anchor annihilated his opponents in the Epsom Derby. In the words of Time Form, Slip Anchor, who made every step of the running, spread-eagled a high-class field in spectacular style.
That's Slip Anchor. This is Steve Cortland. Steve's first Derby victory, ridden out to the post, staying home, coming home well.
In his first 3 crops, Shirley Heights has produced no less than 9 group winners, including Darshan, who defeated this year's Arc de Triomphe hero Rainbow Quest, and Sadler's Wells in the 1984 Prix du Jockey Club. Slip Anchor and Darshan are far from the only stars to Shirley Heights' credit, as he also numbers group winners Head for Heights, Acclimatize, High Hawk, Elegant Air, Iades, Out of Shot and Satinette amongst the best of his progeny. A son of Mill Reef, whom we've discussed at length earlier, Shirley Heights is out of Hardy Emma.